Hi, everyone. Today I'm delighted to introduce Peter O'Hanrahan. Peter is a core faculty member of the Narrative Enneagram and has spent decades teaching the Enneagram to students, leaders, and organizations around the world. At this year's Enneagram Las Vegas Community Gathering, he'll share why two people can experience the exact same situation in completely different ways, and what the Enneagram can teach us about seeing ourselves and one another more clearly. Peter, thank you so much for joining us today. You've been studying and teaching the Enneagram for almost 50 years. Why do you think it continues to resonate with so many people and remain such a valuable tool for understanding ourselves and each other?
Well, it's just a great system of psychology that's accessible to people. It's actually the combination of traditional wisdom and the Enneagram symbol itself and modern psychology, because actually the Enneagram didn't come up with all these 9 personality types. They're all found in psychology. But the Enneagram brings them all together in a system and makes it easy to locate ourselves and figure out what our personality type is and personality type of the people in our family and at work. So I find it's very practical and helpful, and that's why it's spread around the world in the last 50 years.
So, one of the themes of your workshop is how we see the world. What do you think most shapes the way we experience people and situations around us?
It's a good question. The 9 types, which are personality types, run deeper than that. It's actually about internal structures, character structure, and so on. And my understanding is, after all these years, is that it starts with basic temperament. It starts with neurobiology. The kids are born with a certain temperament, and we all have to have a way of seeing the world because we're human beings. It's just we got to organize the information because there's so much going on. And so we learn to prioritize things that are the most important to us. And there are 9 differences in that. Like how your priority would probably be different than my priority in terms of what I want to pay attention to and be prepared for and figure out, engage and, make the most important.
I agree with that, especially about we're born that way. I have two kids and they're very different.
That's why parents figured that out. It used to be
Yeah.
that we figured, well, we were made in our families into being this particular type. And then we got older and started having kids. And the good news for parents is we didn't make them into their Enneagram type.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
They just showed up with that. They show up with an Enneagram personality type.
So, what's one realization that you hope people have about themselves during your workshop?
Well, the title of my presentation is The Holistic Enneagram, and this is something important to me. I think it's really helpful to have a understanding of the structure of how we're arranged and how our type is based in 3 centers of intelligence. It's mind, heart, and body.
Mhm.
And so the Enneagram is a holistic system. We have a certain neurobiology or temperament in our body center. We have basic emotional issues and emotional strengths in our heart center. In our mind, we see the world a certain way. And so that all 3 centers, seeing, feeling, and doing, are part of what makes up our Enneagram type. So it's not just our head center, it's also our heart and our body as well.
I think you bring up a good point too. Teaching people that we are seeing the world through a different lens because I think sometimes we assume that everyone thinks the same way that we do.
I always thought I was weird and didn't know where I fit in. So when the Enneagram came along, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a place for me here. Actually, I fit. There's a place for me. And that was really great news. And some of us have that experience.
Yeah. So looking back over all of the years, what's the most meaningful lessons that the Enneagram has taught you about yourself?
As a young person, I'm a type 8.
Mhm.
And as a young type 8, it was hard for me to get along with other people. I found people difficult and irritating, and surely they found me difficult too. So understanding the Enneagram and who people are underneath their persona or the top levels of their personality, like being able to see the person inside that really helped me open up my empathy, my connections, really my heart. I still get irritated at people's personalities, but I know that there's more to that person, and it just opened up so much better relationships in my life, and also better for me to walk around with a kind heart instead of a irritable, angry heart.
Which is pretty cool for an eight, I have to say. You
Yeah,
know?
it's very cool for an 8, right? It only took me many years of work, therapy, and Enneagram.
My last question for you, because I could ask you a million, but for today, if someone's considering attending your session in September, what do you hope that they'll walk away seeing differently, not just about the Enneagram, but about themselves and the people in their lives?
That we have these 3 centers of consciousness, head, heart, and body, and that we can develop all 3. There's awareness and practice and support for developing each of our three centers. So we can work on all three centers, and even centers that where we're strong, there may be a bias. Like I see the world a certain way, and that's true for me. And maybe you see it differently, but my way is best way. So to understand, I can actually realize that there are these 8 other points of view, way of seeing the world, and learn from them and
Mhm.
incorporate some of that intelligence so that I don't get completely stuck or fixated in the way that I see things, because that's pretty limiting. I can identify my patterns in the head, in the heart, in the body with the help of the Enneagram. And if I choose, I can work on developing one or more of those centers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're coming. We all are that you're joining us again for our third annual Enneagram Las Vegas Community Gathering. It will be on September 11th and 12th at the South
Mhm.
Point Hotel and Casino. For more information and to register, you can visit our website at www.enneagramlasvegas.com. And again, Peter, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today and to explain a
Sure.
bit more about you and about what you do. And we really look forward to seeing you in September.
Okay. Great, Deidre.
Thanks so much.